taking the online race broadcast performance to the next level. This is the Full Velocity Network.
Live and in color. Welcome to the Full Velocity Network here live tonight at the Talladega Super Speedway. The debut race for the VPM Truck Series for our friends at the Full Throttle Sim Racing League. They're presenting the Marco's Pizza 175 live from the Talladega Super Speedway. 66 laps to big main event distance, and we are thrilled to have you all aboard here tonight as we dabble back into the iRacing waters once again on a Monday night. Thank you out there, everybody in YouTube land, for watching us this evening. My name is Phil Lacasse, along with Todd Stanton and Joe Allen, as always, on the controls for us here on Full Velocity. And Todd, we've been here a billion times before, it feels like, at the Talladega Super Speedway, but for the very first time, we get to tackle this iRacing style, and I am thrilled that the guys from FTSR have brought us out here tonight in race number one for an all-new series here of the 2017 D season and the debut race for the VPM Truck Series for FTSR. Man, I'm excited to get this thing started. How about you?
Yeah, I'm indeed excited to get this thing started. Talladega Super Speedway in a different light, iRacing simulation style here this evening. These guys are going to put on one whale of a show. These Full Throttle Sim Racing guys have put on a whale of a show here on the short tracks. Now they're going to do a Super Speedway style. I just can't wait for this iRacing Talladega style, Phil. It's one of those things. I've never competed at the Talladega Super Speedway on iRacing. I've had it a long, long time, but I've always made my way out onto the dirt circuits of the iRacing and did some of the short track stuff with the late models. And it's going to be interesting to see how these trucks are going to prevail out here and see what these guys got in store for us here this evening.
I can't wait to see what it is. I've had very limited experience in a truck. You know, I did what they call the old pickup truck, pickup cup, whatever it is, in the iRacing stables there, and been out at Charlotte once or twice in these things, but never in a super speedway capacity. So it's a first for me as well. I've dabbled into the dirt. I dabbled on the street stocks, trying to work my license up through iRacing, but the very first time I get to see these things live and in living color on the super speedways, and thrilled to be back over here at FTSR with these guys tonight, the original home league for our buddy Joe Allen. And once again, Joe, good to have you aboard, and welcome home once again back here on a Monday night, race number 3 of 3 that we've got slated for these guys. And man, I hope Brody and the guys bring us back, and I want to see more of what this VPM Truck Series is going to be like. Man, I'm excited to be here at Talladega.
Oh yeah, we're used to these guys coming out here with a rather small league when they were running that super late model series, but something brand new here. The Truck Series are out there on the track. They're turning their qualifying laps, as you can see some of the trucks fly by, and this is going to be a real exciting series. There's a lot of guys that I used to race with way back years and years ago that are coming back, and they're getting involved in the Truck Series here. Brandon Elder, who I know is out in the chat box, having a few wheel issues, so unfortunately he won't be able to join us tonight. John Adams, another guy that we saw last week, won't be here this evening, but Brody Hanna, Adam Edwards, an old buddy of mine, TJ Bartell out there, Adam Mattox is back, and a bunch of other guys that we're accustomed to seeing that we've seen through 4 or 5 races that we've done for these guys. We're out here supporting the league, and I'm super excited for the things that they have planned. It's going to be a fun one for sure.
No, it is certainly going to be one awesome night here live on Full Velocity. Thank everybody for tuning in. If you'd like to see more of what we're doing, head over to our website, fullvelocity.com. FullVelocityNetwork.com, rather, I should say, and book your date now. Get it all locked in. If you have not yet, subscribe to our YouTube page here. Find us on our social medias, Facebook, link, group, page, and whatnot. You can find us all there as well. So we'd love to interact and, showcase all the great things going on, interact with our community and all our great viewers out here who call us home night after night with us when we get out on the airwaves and do this. But can't wait to see what the Talladega Super Speedway is going to bring us here for 66 laps tonight. But before we get to the green flag racing, as always here on Full Velocity, before we get this thing underway, we're going to throw it trackside for the playing of tonight's national anthem. All right, back here at the Talladega Super Speedway, ready to go for the Marco's Pizza 175 race number 1 for the Full Throttle Sim Racing League's VPM Truck Series, debuting here on a Monday night, and will be run here through the season on out. FTSR.net, how to find this great league. You know, Brody Hanna, Paul Strickland, Adam Edwards, Brody Brandon Elder, all the guys, they've been around for a long time, do such a fantastic job. We're thrilled to have these guys aboard tonight. But Todd Stanton, these guys are about to start taking the grid. We're going to fire this thing off for 66 laps, 175 miles around the Talladega Super Speedway. So without further ado, what do you say? We dive straight into tonight's starting lineup.
And now the starting lineup for the Marco's Pizza 175, brought to you by Full Throttle Sim Racing. Starting on the pole, driving the number 54, that's Bernard Pearson, and his dancing partner outside. Driving the number 42, that's Dakota Salik.
Rolling off tonight from row number 2 on the inside, we find the driver of car number 98. That'll be Mark Johnson, and to his outside aboard car number 67, what's the truck 67 rather, that'd be Andrew Packer.
Truck number 35, TJ Bartel, starting inside row number 3 in the 5th starting position. Outside of him is Stefan Hamill in the number 90.
Brody Hannigan roll off next tonight from the 7th position aboard truck number 62. And to his outside in the 94, our old buddy Paul Strickland Jr. rolls off 8th.
Rolling off 9th position, that's Sherwood Wolford. And outside of him, the number 8, that's Jeff Lang.
Rolling off the 11th position tonight, we find truck number 91. That is Rob Thomas. And to his outside aboard truck number 23, we welcome to Full Velocity Claudio Goathart, the 43.
Next row back starting in the 13th starting position, that's Hunter Garth aboard the number 9. Outside of him is Jeff Bratton in the number 55 starting 14th.
15th starter tonight, we find the driver of truck number 95, familiar name to us here the last couple of weeks. Strong competitor, that is Adam Maddox. And to his outside aboard truck number 22, another familiar name, guy Joe goes back a long time with. That is Michael Blackner rolling off 16th aboard number 22.
Starting in that 17th starting position, driving the number 16 truck, that's Adam Edwards. His dancing partner to the outside, driving the number 24, that's Matthew Alamone.
Row number 10, we find to the inside truck number 44. That is Thomas Burrell. And to his outside aboard the Flying 88, rolling off 20th. That's PJ O'Leary.
David Hensley and Ronald White make up the rest of their 22 car. I believe it's a 22 car starting field, 21 truck starting field here at the Talladega Super Speedway, Phil.
Right, so 21 drivers look like are going to answer the bell. Take the green flag for 66 laps. The trucks are getting onto the grid. We're waiting for the command to fire engines to be given. Let these trucks roll off the grid and getting out there for 66 laps there, Todd. Is I've completely gone, wrong button on my screen here, so let me get back to where I need to be here. But we're getting geared up and ready to go here. 66 laps, Todd. What do you say?
They're putting the hammer down the Talladega Super Speedway. We're green flag racing for the Marco's Pizza 175. Full Throttle Sim Racing down into turn number 1. It's Bernard Pearson. You got Dakota Salik on the top side in that number 42 machine. Nice GoPro sponsored machine. Nice looking trucks out here tonight, Phil. And these guys working over the bottom side. I'm not sure what we're going to see here tonight. This is a first for us here, seeing Talladega in the trucks on iRacing, on this iRacing simulation versus the NASCAR 2003. I'm sure we're going to see some drafting. I'm sure we're going to see bump drafting at its finest. 2 and 3 wide. I'd like to see some of that here at the Talladega Super Speedway. These guys are already making things happen.
Oh, they certainly are. On the inside lane, second truck in line, we find the Mark Johnson machine, number 98. He's pushing up the inside lane, that being Bernard Pearson there, the number 54, leading that inside lane. Looks like he's going to come through the tribal, Todd, to lead lap number 1 here of 66 here at Talladega.
Yeah, lap number 1 being led by the number, I believe that's the number 54 machine, Bernard Pearson, going to take it by 0.001 over Mark Johnson. That's an amazing feat in itself. That's really rather close. As Dakota Salik is running in that third spot. 4th is Paul Strickland Jr. right now in that number 94. These guys are slicing and dicing their way down the back straightaway. Looks like the 98 right now of Mark Johnson has the slight advantage on the top side of the speedway.
Yeah, just ever bit slightest there. Johnson of the 98 there with the advantage now. Looks like he'll pull down to the inside lane in front of the 54 there. See if the outside lane can't muster anything going on there. We find the 42 running in the outside, pulling the outside lane around the 42. Dakota Salik, we'll see if he can't make the run. Paul Strickland's got the 94, nestled in that lead group on the inside lane. 2 by 2 by 2 now for the race lead into turn 1.
Yeah, Stefan Hamill right there in that 4th position. He's pushing Dakota Salik in that number 42 machine on the top side of the speedway. They're doing a pretty good job, but it looks like the bottom right now prevailing. That is being led by Mark Johnson in that number 98 machine. Then you got the 54 right there behind him. That's Bernard Pearson in the JBL.com Toyota Tundra.
And Bernard having a good run there. The 54 glued on the inside lane as I'm just trying to scroll on back here. See if there's any good racing action going back as these guys just locked up 2 by 2 by 2 all over the Talladega Super Speedway. Finding the number 8 machine of Jeff Lang, 3rd truck to the outside. Currently on the outside of the top 5, the 35 right there nestled in the bottom line with him as well. The 35 TJ Bartle. Just 2 by 2 by 2, Todd. I think this is going to be the story of Talladega all night long. You're going to see these guys playing a role in the track, but you know, we're so used to seeing in the NR community how we see the top lane always seem to pay off at Talladega. Well, right now it looks like both lanes pretty equal, and nobody can seem to get away. As one truck loose on the outside wall, 42 making hard contact out there. Not sure anybody else was collected, but really got loose off of turn 2, and 42 truck, Todd, hard into the outside wall.
And his back end, that GoPro Chevy Silverado, Dakota Salik is heavily damaged, and there's more wrecking happening in turn number 3. These guys smashing into the outside wall as the yellow flag was flying. We got guys smoking on here. Goldhart in the number 23 heavily smoking. Got the Matthew Almonte, you got the 22, Michael Blackner. These guys heavily damaged this early on in the going. We're only on lap 4 there, Phil.
Yeah, and I saw Jeff Lang in the number 8 taking just a wild tumble. So Joe Allen's going to be really busy right out of the gate here, getting ready with the first full velocity rewind of the night as we, you know, go through the ultimate esport experience tonight at the Talladega Super Speedway. The Marco's Pizza 175. For our friends at the Full Throttle Sim Racing League, race number 1 of the season. Certainly not the way some of these guys wanted to start their season, start their evening, you know, tore up race trucks all over the place. All started there, Todd, off of turn number 2. You know, the number 42 machine, that GoPro Chevrolet, Dakota Salik, he got a little bit loose to the outside wall. Not sure if it, you know, had guys checking up or gut size all out of sorts, but by the time they got to turn number 3, guys just kind of ran out of racetrack, and it set up a multiple truck catastrophe there. So there's multiple trucks tore up. I was in the 8 truck of Jeff Lang, saw him all tore up. I saw Michael Blackner get a piece of the action. So I think when Joe's ready with the replay, there's going to be quite a bit to look at here.
There's indeed quite a bit to look at in that replay, and these guys hit the wall pretty hard. Some of these guys have some heavy rear end damage, like the 42 of Dakota Salik. He's got some heavy rear end damage, right side damage. I'm going to throw it down to Mr. Joe Allen, Jolie the Jet. That's down there in the broadcast trailer for our first iRacing rewind here, and actually we should say the full velocity rewind, even iRacing style, I should say, Phil. But Joe, take it away. Show us what happened. There was multiple things happening out there.
Alrighty guys, thank you very much. As you can see it, we're going to focus on that number 8 machine. Coming down the track after the 42 got in the wall, as you can see here, we'll back this up just a little bit. More time, throw it in backwards replay. But you can see the black of the 8 truck and the number 23 down there on the bottom. It looks like the 8 started to come down. The whole field stacked up when that 42 machine had gotten into the outside wall and really stacked up the entire field, everybody trying to get their wits back to one another. And as he comes down the track, he just hooks the 23 in the left rear quarter panel, sends both of those guys back up the racetrack. Looks like the 90 barely misses an incident with the number 23 there. And keep in mind, guys, this is running right around the 6th or 7th position, so this could have really been a lot worse than what it ended up turning out. Hard impact for that number 23 machine into the outside wall. 8 machines rolling over. Both those trucks getting our flip count going for the evening. That'll set it definitively at 2 so far. We see that number 22 machine down there in that red and white truck. Very good avoidance right there. That was very close as he comes down over the nose of the 95 of Adam Mattox, I believe, is down there on the apron. So those guys going to have some troubles as well. There's the 24. There we see the 22 actually spinning down on the apron there in front of the 95, I believe is who that is. So to have only what appears to be 4 trucks or so involved in this is, very impressive. There's the 16 as well, that beautifully prepared number 16 Red Bull machine as well. He gets some hard damage on the left front there, and we see the 95 of Adam Mattox. He's going to have some front end damage as well as that number 22 machine. So tough break for some of these guys early in the go in lap 5, I believe, guys, that we see this first caution of the evening. So hopefully these guys will be able to get these things repaired as best they can and get them back out onto the racetrack. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, it's tough to see all those guys tore up so early on. As Joe said, Todd, can't believe only 4 trucks got tore up in that. Definitely some bent-up sheet metal indeed. But we got a pretty strong field of trucks here. A lot of fast drivers at the front of this field. We saw the likes of TJ Bartle was up there. Brody Hanna was awfully fast. Bernard Person, we know the 54 has got an awesome piece here. So we got a lot of great trucks, and I'm sure some of those guys that may have picked up some damage there, the 98 of Mark Johnson, we know he's fast. We know the 24 was fast. So let's see if those guys can't maybe get these things all, righted out, and we'll see if these guys can't make a charge up front.
Yeah, definitely going to have to see if these guys can make a charge up towards the front. Some of these guys still heavily damaged, but your current race leader is going to be the number 94 of Paul Strickland Jr. He's going to be your current race leader. He's going to start on the inside. Stephen Hamill is on the outside. He is in that number 90 machine. He's going to start second. Brody Hanna is third. TJ Bartel in the number 35 machine. He is fourth. So those are the top 2 rows as of right now. You got Sherwood Wilford running in that 5th spot. You got Bernard Pearson. He's been up front all evening long in that JBL.com Toyota Tundra, the number 54 machine. He's running 6th. So I know it's early on in the going. We're on lap number 6. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen and how this is going to play out here this evening.
Yeah, certainly is. A lot of racing left to go. These guys got 175 miles in front of them. 66 laps is the distance, and as Todd said, we're only now working on lap number 7. Looks like the lights have extinguished atop the iRacing pace car. So the field now working its way toward the end of the backstretch toward turn number 3. Believe we're going to go green flag racing this time around as they work their way through the west end of the racetrack here. And as Todd said, it looks like it's going to be Paul Strickland Jr. going to elect to take the inside lane here on the restart. Stephen Hamill, Brody Hanna, TJ Bartle, Sherwood Williford, and Bernard Person, your first 3 rows there. Also find Andrew Packer, Jeff Bratton, Adam Edwards, and David Hensley going to round out your top 10. David out there, that number 43, that's old throwback Richard Petty looking scheme, probably by far my favorite I've seen. But what I'm seeing, Todd, looking up and down the field here, we've got some terrific looking race trucks. These guys have really done a superb job, man. These things really look great.
Yeah, indeed, they look great. As Paul Strickland Jr.'s truck looks great. There's a lot of nice looking ones. The one that catches my eye, Phil, is that STP sponsor machine over there. So that's going to be a guy to watch. That paint scheme is awesome.
Yeah, another highlight for me also, the 44 Hot Wheels truck. That thing was pretty sharp as well. So, yeah, that was Thomas Burrow there, the 44. So, 2 kind of old school throwback Petty trucks that definitely got my attention here tonight. But we put our attention back to the front of the field. Paul Strickland, Stephen Hamill, the front row, winning the green flag, Todd, and green flag is in the air.
Yeah, green flag is in the air. Paul Strickland Jr. did not get the start that the number 90 did. I tell you what, that number 90 of Stephen Hamill had a good start on the outside there. It looked like he took off like a rocket ship. But again, fighting back on the bottom side. Paul Strickland Jr. now taking over the lead with help from Brody Hanna in that number 62 machine. So those guys working over the bottom side of the speedway here as we go down the back straightaway. Got the 33. He's into the fray now. That's Sherwood Wilford in that number 33 machine, that iRacing sponsored machine. He's working at the bottom with Paul Strickland Jr. and Brody Hanna. Again, the top side trying to get something going there early on in the going at the Talladega Super Speedway.
Yeah, here comes Stephen Hamill on the outside lane. He's pulled up alongside the Brody Hanna truck. That's racing for second with the outside lane with the run of that Nesquik Chevrolet of TJ Bartle. They're going to make the run for the race lead through the triangle here side by side. Put Stephen Hamill, the number 90 truck. He'll be up to the race lead for the first time as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, that sim steering Silverado out to the lead in that number 90 machine is Nesquik sponsored Silverado. Trying to get these guys sponsored. That's Bartel, TJ Bartel in that number 35 machine. He's on the outside right now in that second spot. Paul Strickland Jr., the number 94, trying to fight back on the inside down the back straightaway. Not going to be able to pull it off here. Here comes the 90 back down to the bottom side. That's Stephen Hamill. Hamill now trying to help out Paul Strickland Jr., maybe trying to be down on the bottom side. Maybe he's more comfortable down there, but that meanwhile leaves the lane wide open for that number 35 machine of TJ Bartel. He's going to now take over the lead coming off of turn number 4.
Yeah, the outside lane definitely working there. One observation I made there, we saw Brody Hanna right up in that thick of the lead pack. Well, Brody, the better, just decided, I'm going to get out of the throttle. I'm going to pull down to the inside lane. Way too early to be trapped in this hornet's nest up front here, juking and driving for position. So he's going to, drop himself all the way from that third spot now. Move Brody Hanna now all the way back last time around. He was currently 18th at the end of this lead pack, so 18 trucks here are all in tow with the race leaders. But interesting play there for Brody there, Todd. He was up to third. He's elected to be a little cautious out here. He's going to drop back to the tail end of this pack and allow these guys to log laps. And that's not a bad strategy. We still have a lot of laps here left to go. We got 10 up on the board.
Yeah, we got 10 up on the board. 66 laps is the distance here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Again, Bernard Pearson now on the top side of the speedway. He's trying to make something happen. He wants to get himself back to the lead in that number 54 machine. Not able to do anything here early down the front straightaway. Now into turn 1. Let's see how much more momentum he can build up down here into turn number 1. Not able to pull up quite up to the door of the number 90 machine is right now. They're coming off turn 2 down the back straightaway. Look for these guys on the top side of the speedway to get a run. And Bernard Pearson trying to lead that charge as he is indeed up next to the number 90 machine and able to pull up alongside of Stephen Hamill. Hamill right now side by side with the 54. 54's got all kinds of momentum. He's got a good pusher behind him. We have not talked about him yet. That's Jeff Bratton in that number 55 machine. He's been able to push the 54 up alongside that number 90 machine.
Yeah, that's a cool looking paint scheme as well. That Jasper Engines and Transmissions, the old yellow and blue machine there for the 55. That thing definitely sharp looking. Jeff Bratton running along in position number 5 as they head down the front stretch toward the start finish line. Good side by side battle for third there between the 94 now of Paul Strickland using the inside lane. Looks like he'll have the run on the 54, but these guys got these two lines working right now. The inside lane starting to work there. The 33 now back into the fold as well. The 33, that's Sherwood Williford there, the 33, making his move up the inside lane. So these guys still juking and jiving and jockeying for position. They're going to be too wide once again for the race lead toward turn 3.
Yeah, too wide again for the race lead. This time on the bottom side is TJ Bartel and that number 35 machine. On the outside is the 54 machine of Bernard Pearson. They're side by side coming off of 4 down through the triangle. Still imaginary door handle through the triangle. You got Pearson trying to make a run, trying to lead this lap this time by. We're going to see if he's going to be able to do so. I believe he's going to be able to do so here at the line. Oh, no, indeed he was not able to do so at the line, as I missed the line there by a little bit, but .007 between himself and TJ Bartel and that number 35 machine. So that's how close to racing here at the Talladega Super Speedway.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it just looks like it's an awful lot of fun out there. But knowing this is the opening race here, Todd, here at Talladega tonight, and Joe, knowing we got a long season ahead for these guys at the VPM Truck Series here at the Full Throttle Sim Racing League, who would you like to be right now in this pack? We saw Brody, pull out of that third spot. He's dropped all the way back to the end of this lead pack, running 17th. Do you like that play, or would you rather be somebody out there like a TJ Bartle, like a Paul Strickland, be up there digging at the front of this field? What do you think there, Joe?
You got to keep in mind with these super speedways, you have a lot of super speedway aces that come out here, and they have the sole intention of running super speedways. And you got guys like Paul Strickland and Brody Hanna and Michael Blackner and a few others that are going to be out there that are going to run this season all the way through, and try and run for points. So I think with this being the first race of this young season, Brody Hanna back there hanging on to the end of the draft here, just kind of minding his P's and Q's, keeping the fenders on that thing. Guy like Michael Blackner was involved in an early accident, unfortunately. So I got to think Brody's in the right spot. This is a long race at Talladega, 66 laps. We've only completed, we're not even a third of the way through yet. So I think, the place to be is probably in the back, although Paul Strickland's doing he's doing what I normally do at super speedways. He's running up front and he's playing his cards and rolling the dice to try and stay out of trouble, but also keep himself up front, hopefully in front of the wreck. So you can argue that this is a Brody Hanna smart race or a Paul Strickland Jr. smart race.
Well, one thing not smart right now is somehow the yellow flag is unfurled onto the speedway here. yellow flag number 2 on lap number 15, just as the race leaders were flashing their way around 2 slower trucks involved in earlier contact. Dakota Sudleek and Matthew Almoni in the number 24. Those guys just both went a lap down. We'll have to see how the wave around or lucky dog procedures play out for these guys, as they were just getting overcome by the leaders when they hit the start finish line when the yellow flag came out. So we'll have to see how these guys get this all worked out. But nonetheless, under a caution flag for the second time here tonight, we'll put Joe Allen back to work, try to find what happened here to put us under the caution flag for the second time, and see if we can't get another full velocity rewind for you guys out there. But hope you guys are enjoying the show this as much as we are watching it the very first time for myself. I think for Todd as well, checking out what iRacing is like here on a super speedway. Done a lot in the dirt, done a lot in the short tracks with these guys in the super late models, but never in one of these trucks at a super speedway. So certainly we're enjoying the show. Hope you guys out there as well. If there's anything you guys can add as far as feedback and stuff that we may not know to this broadcast, absolutely do so. You guys out there in the YouTube chat box are unbelievable as always. So want to interact with you all night long, let you guys be a part of what we call the ultimate esport experience right here live on the Full Velocity Network. But Joe Allen, believe you're ready for the second Full Velocity rewind of the night. So show us what happened to put us under this caution flag.
Thank you very much, guys. We're going to focus on that number 23 machine again, going down into turn 1 here, passing those lap cars, the 42, the 24, I believe that's the 98 up on the very top, that black and pink truck. So as they come down into turn 1, see that lap truck come down. Looks like he was trying to get in behind the 23. Maybe the 23 was trying to come up in front of him, and that sparks some heavy contact. Tears up the 98, tears up the 24. Michael Blackner in the 22 back in it again. See the number 44 machine, he's involved in it. The 91 machine involved in it. So this is one of those scenarios I talked about Brody Hanna being in a good spot back there. I think Brody was just far enough in the back to miss it. Maybe a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. There's Brody as these guys are just bouncing down the track. Hard contact. Brody just locks up the 62's brakes to hopefully not hit anything there. And Paul Strickland up towards the front, he was able to completely miss it. So heavy contact for a lot of these guys in the back, and that's just the product of racing those lap cars, unfortunately, guys. Sometimes there's just not much you can do about it, and that's the nature of the beast at Talladega, and that's what makes this an exciting race for a lot of the guys. There's really no safe spot on the racetrack. So back up to you guys in the booth.
Well, absolutely no safe spaces here out on the racetrack tonight, nor should there ever be a safe space out on the speedway. You're going to be out there mixing it up, being part of the best, and being part of the big show like we have here tonight on Full Velocity. I mean, you got to go out there and you kind of could go to wit's end at a place like this there, Todd. You sometimes fall victim to the circumstance of what's around you, and unfortunately for these guys being all, encased and strapped with lap cars, really nothing more they could do, and that just strung off another multiple truck incident. This is certainly too bad.
Certainly is too bad, and those guys that were already tore up, some of them tore up even more for this race, and it's unfortunate. Unfortunate chain of events, like you say, at Talladega. High-speed chess match. Sometimes you get that checkmate, and other times you just fall victim to that brook. So it's one of those things that it's happened in the blink of an eye, and you just don't know what's going to happen at Talladega. It doesn't matter what simulation you're in. You're at Talladega. You're going fast. Everybody's grouped together, and the big one's going to be caused, and it's probably going to end your night, and it's unfortunate.
Well, it certainly is, and we're hoping to see the iRacing pace car come to pit road here awfully shortly. Here looks like lights are still going to be on the pace car, so it could be at least one more time around. They'll bring these trucks around and wait to go back under green flag conditions. But looking like the number 8 of Jeff Lang, he's on the tail end of the lead lap. Have not yet to see him come toward pit road, and I believe that's as we say that he may pull down, maybe come on there. He's going to hit the banking. Nope, looks like he'll stay on the racetrack off of turn number 4. So Jeff may be in position there, Todd, to take one of these wave arounds here, get himself back onto the lead lap. Looks like now we've got 15 drivers left onto the lead lap, so these guys taking a wave around at this point maybe not be a bad idea. But I saw the likes of TJ Bartle, Bernard Person, Paul Strickland, David Hensley, all those guys came onto pit road. Bartel, I should say. You try to get these names all worked out. You guys have been around these guys a little longer than we have, but we'll see how much we can't slaughter here tonight. We apologize for that, but we saw these guys all come onto pit road. Believe they all took, fresh tires. Know they got these things full of fuel, and we'll reset, get restacked and repacked, and less than a lap from now, Todd, we'll be back under the green flag.
Lights are still on top of the iRacing pace car. Still waiting to see what's going to happen, and all these guys, all these guys are going to do at Talladega Super Speedway, and we're still under yellow flag conditions. These guys still grouping up, going down pit road. What type of strategies they're going to play? I've seen a lot of these guys. Of course, you've seen Brody Hanna down on pit road. He took 4 tires. That was an obvious choice because he did lock up the tires trying to miss that wreck. And we were talking about how Brody Hanna is running in the back where Paul Strickland's running up front. Both of those guys missed the wreck. Paul Strickland Jr. missed the wreck running up front. Then you have Brody Hanna who had run in the back and tried to play a different strategy to miss the wreck also because the big one's going to happen. But he had to lock up his tires, and he was already in the back, so that didn't hurt him. So both strategies worked really, really well that time. Other times they don't work very well. I've seen it in NASCAR Racing 2003 simulation where I've raced most of my career, and you can run either or, and you could be in trouble. I've seen Joe Allen leading, and the second place car dump him, and then end up having to go to the back. So it's one of those things.
Well, I think I've kind of seen the Joe Allen machine get turned at a super speedway. Not going to throw anybody under the bus, and no, I think the last one who may have turned him, but believe it might have been some friendly fire. But we'll leave that for another day, another time, maybe another show at some point. But we'll reset here, awaiting the lights to go out, put the Marco's Pizza 175 back under the green flag here at Talladega. And I mean, what I've been reading about these guys at Marco's Pizza, I mean, who doesn't like pizza? And what I hear from these guys, we'll see if we can't maybe, get some more insight on these guys from Brody here in a little bit. But so thankful for the guys at Marco's Pizza to come aboard here tonight and showcase this great event, race number 1 for FTSR's VPM Truck Series, beginning off 2017 D season for these guys. And it looks like, Todd, I can report, lights are out the pace car, so we're going to go green flag racing one more time around. So we'll get this field all reset and ready to go. And, we still got 46 more laps of this. So what do you say? We get back to it.
Yeah, I've been waiting to get back to it. Is right now your current race leader is going to be the number 35 of TJ Bartel. And the Nesquik sponsor machine, really bright yellow scheme out there. One of the nicer looking schemes out there. And you got JBL.com, Toyota Tundra. That's Bernard Pearson. He's running second. He's going to restart second on the outside. Then we go to Paul Strickland Jr. He's been running up front all evening long in that number 94. He is running in that third spot. Fourth is going to be Sherwood Wolford in that number 33 machine. He's running fourth, so it's going to be interesting. No, and indeed he's running fifth. I don't know why I skipped over a guy here. David Hensley is running fourth in the 43, the STP sponsor machine. One of my schemes that I always like to look for is those throwback type of schemes, and that's one of my favorite schemes here this evening. Besides the Hot Wheels car, I was kind of impressed with that one. Andrew Packer is running in that fifth spot. So it was Andrew Packer running fifth in the number 67, then the 33 machine of Sherwood Wilford. So he's right now starting sixth. So those are your front 3 rows so far, Phil. Then we go to 7th place, which should be, we're trying to get used to these controls, and I believe it's the number 90 machine that's going to be running in that 7th position. It is indeed the number 90 of Stephen Hamill. He is running 7th. 8th is the number 16 of Adam Edwards, Jeff Bratton, and Brody Hanna. Round out your top 10.
Yeah, good little top 10 here as we get ready for the restart. Field working its way now through turns number 3 and 4, waiting for the pace car to take the left-hand turn toward pit road. He'll do so now and let these things get back to green flag racing. TJ Bartle, Bernard Person, Paul Strickland, David Hensley going to make up your front 2 rows here as we get ready to put that loud pedal down. Todd, what do you say? We go back to green flag racing here at Talladega.
Green flag is in the air. Loud pedal is down. The hammer is down the front straightaway here at the Talladega Super Speedway. as they're side by side already into turn number 1 as they work their way to turn number 1. TJ Bartel in the number 35 machine. The 54 machine is on the outside of Bernard Pearson. He's dropping back quickly, and that's typical of this outside line so far. It looks like the inside line only one time has been able to not be able to outduel that outside line. So the outside gets the momentum down the back straightaway, though. Again, Bernard Pearson leading the charge. Look at the momentum. That is crazy momentum down the back straightaway. He's already up alongside the 35 of TJ Bartel into turn number 3.
Yeah, he's got David Hensley there, the 43, shoving him out there in that STP machine. Almost got the 54 alongside for the race lead, but Bartle will race along the inside lane. They'll pull back to the race lead. He's got a good push from Paul Strickland Jr. Also, Andrew Packer is there. Going to be 2 by 2 by 2. Outside lane reforming. We'll see if we can't make another charge, but it's still a 35 for Bartle. He'll have the race for the lead there in the turn 1.
Yeah, Bartel in the number 35 machine has the race for the lead into turn number 1. The 54 trying to work over the top side. That's that JBL.com sponsored machine. He's got help from David Hensley. Hensley in the 43 STP sponsored truck here this evening down the back straightaway. They get that run once again, that patented run off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Not able to do anything this time by. It's still Bartel leading into turn 3.
Yeah, Bartel there with the lead there to turn 3. Strickland to the inside. That 54, the 43 going to try to make the run. Looks like the 43 may have lost contact with the bumper of that 54 there. So they'll fall back a little bit. Strickland will pull up to the inside. Here comes Andrew Packer. Can they make the clear pass on the 54? Well, so far that answer is no. The outside lane still holding there strong. Bernard Pearson, the 54, that JBL machine, he is right there. And here comes Hensley back to his bumper. They're going to make another run to the outside here off of turn 2.
Andrew Packer trying to work in lockstep, in tandem type of draft with the guys in front of him, Paul Strickland Jr. and TJ Bartel in that number 35 machine, trying to get around this 54, but look at the run. The run again by the 54 on the outside. He got one wheel of a bump draft from that number 43 machine. He's pushing him into turn number 3. They are side by side once again with the leader, but now it stalls once again, as it does time and time again, as these guys are trying to work their way on the outside, but the inside group's been prevailing. There's not enough trucks lined up top yet.
No, not enough there. We said Sherwood Williford, the 33. He's the third truck in the outside, trying to make things happen. Also looks like Adam Edwards has the 16 nestled up there as well. So those guys starting to roll up forward a little bit. They've inched a little more closer, a little more. You know, they're around the outside of Stephen Hamill, the 90 now. They've got the inside lane there, the 94 of Paul Strickland. They're racing up to that second spot, but they cannot get anything to do with that Nesquik Chevrolet of TJ Bartel. He's going to maintain the race lead as those guys trying to play the draft, moving left, moving right, trying to do everything to keep that high lane behind, but they got a nice run there, Todd. Here comes the 54 back up the outside. We may see a race for the lead this time off of turn 4.
Yeah, as we see the race for the lead off of turn number 4 last time down through the trial, the 54 did lead that last time by .012 over Bartel. And look at that amazing run once again here through the tribal. Guess what? He's going to lead again in that number 54 machine. He had an amazing run there. He's put Bernard Pearson to the lead around the 35 machine. So that was interesting. How much of a run they get off of turn 4 through the trial.
I'm starting to see the 43 start to just kind of look maybe for a third line up high. Could we possibly see 3 different lines, maybe see some 3-wide racing? Have not seen any of that yet, but that inside lane, that they call the inside the shortest way around, and so far so good on the inside lane for TJ Bartel there, making it work. Paul Strickland tucked right up in line, but the story has been the run from the outside lane, the 54 of Bernard Pearson, the 43 David Hensley. They are right there trying to make it happen. It ain't working right now there, Todd. Top 2 are broken away. Almost make that a clear third. They're side by side for third. Maybe some contact there. Contact with the third trucks in line. Person up the hill. That also looks like the Stephen Hamill machine in there as well. So those guys getting a little bit close there. Some tense times into turn 1.
Yeah, Andrew Packer right up into the side of the 54, and that almost was scary. I thought there was going to be another big one there, but Bernard Pearson up by his lonesome right now. He's trying to get back to go. As the number 67, 67 did make a little bit of contact. Almost see a little bit of scrubbing there. As again, Bernard Pearson not by himself up there. As I repeat, he has some help there, but that did jumble him up just a little bit. Is he going to be able to maintain and get the lead back here off of turn number 3 or turn number 4 down into the tribal as he's done the last 2 out of 3 times as Bernard Pearson. But I don't know if he's got the run this time by to take over the lead from the 35 machine of TJ Bartel. Not going to do it this time by. We are 3 wide racing here at Talladega.
3 wide up near the race lead there, just moving all over this place. Looking for running room. I'm seeing now the 42's back into the fray. Dakota Solik is up there. He's pushing the outside lane, trying to see from the vantage point. Believe that's the 9 truck that's pulled this way up there. The 42 truck is there. The 98, that's the 98 of Mark Johnson, who's leading that outside lane. Was trying to get the vantage point. I saw the 9, could not read the 8, couldn't tell if it was 98, 99, or what it was there, but it's the Mark Johnson machine working that third line. We're waiting for that line to come in, Todd, and it is here. And as we hit now lap 27, we got 3 wide racing, almost 4 rows deep for the lead toward turn 1.
Yeah, 3 wide racing. That's got an amazing screenshot out there. Is the number 98 of Mark Johnson making some headway up on the extreme top group. We would be calling that pushing the cushion here in dirt racing terminology. But he's all up top here, up next to that wall, flirting with disaster. I tell you what, that wall comes up really quick when you're up there in that top group. These guys battling pretty good. They're still 3 wide down the back straightaway. TJ is still leading this race in that number 35 machine. So into turn number 3, these guys still 3 wide for the lead, and this is an amazing battle here.
No, it certainly is, and just you talk about we're floating with disaster. Well, hopefully nobody's got Molly Hatchet all queued up there as we just hum that in the back end here. But look at this awesome picture. I know Joe's doing a brilliant job showing it off here on Full Velocity. 3 wide racing up for the race lead. TJ Bartel, the Nesquik Chevrolet, pulling the low side. The 54 of Bernard Person, the JBL.com machine pulling up the middle lane. And how about the run for that Monster Energy Chevrolet there? The number 98 of Mark Johnson trying to make something happen in the top lane. Looks like they're going to form back in a 2-wide formation. He's going to make the move back behind the 43 of David Hensley. They're going to make the run for the race lead. Looks like it's going to work this time, Todd, as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, put Bernard Person to the lead in that number 54 machine. Still side by side, though. Here comes TJ Bartel back down to the bottom side. Just as soon as you thought the 54 had the lead, TJ Bartel now back to the lead.
Yeah, back here looking at moves these guys are making. The 24 of Matthew Almody just made that move out of the outside lane. He's going to go back to the middle. He keeps thinking about it, that DuPont Chevrolet, thinking maybe do I put that move back to the high side. He's going to fall back in the middle as now looks like Person there. Bernard Person, that number 54, he's going to make that lane switch from the high lane down to the low side. He's going to put TJ Bartel behind him there. Also Paul Strickland Jr. almost stacking those guys up there, Todd. Inside lane stalling out. Outside lane has that race for the lead as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, the race for the lead as you put Mark Johnson into the lead in that Monster Rehab Silverado, Chevy Silverado, to say the 98. Now he switches from the top back down to the bottom, right in front of Bernard Person and that number 54 machine. So he leaves the 42 out to dry on the outside, but the DuPont machine, Matthew Alimony, running right there on the top side. He's trying to make some headway. He's trying to push that 42 up alongside the number 98. Oh, almost contact there between TJ Bartel and the number 24, Matthew Alimony. These guys are racing real close going into turn 1.
Yeah, and also something to keep a note there, that Almoni machine, he is still 1 lap down. He is currently in the 19th position, so he's up there racing to try to get back on the lead lap. Not sure, how these guys think. He's currently 3 laps down, so he's, way back in the rear. He's up there trying to earn one of these laps the hard way, but he's pushing that 42 truck, that GoPro Chevrolet. We saw Sadalik, all tore up earlier on, but the 42 has rebounded nicely. No, he's going to fast piece. They're going to be side by side for the lead once again. And also, Todd, you look up ahead, we got lap traffic here approaching. These guys running down 3 slower trucks that are off the pace, and in that, we see the number 95 of Adam Mannix, a guy we saw really fast on the short tracks, but tore up here for an earlier carnage here this evening. The 95 is off the pace as those lap cars they're gonna drift into the high lane. This may make for some tense action here through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, tense action. The guys stay up as high as they can. They were jockeying, I'll tell you that, for position there. And I thought something bad was going to happen there, some type of destruction. But those guys able to stay up high, stay out of the leader's ways, and not able to cause another big one here. As these guys starting to fight for the lead going into turn number 3. Still, Mark Johnson, your current race leader in that monster. Rehab, Chevy Silverado.
Yeah, it's having a good run in that Silverado. I've been out here, running around in that number 16 Toyota Tundra of Adam Edwards. He's kept that thing committed to the outside lane. Currently running in that sixth position there through the tribal as they hit the start-finish line. Going to put 32 laps up on the board, so we're pretty close to halfway here at Talladega and the Marco's Pizza 175. But also going to keep in mind there, Todd, not sure how these guys do on fuel consumption here. Something we have not seen in the iRacing is, the truck racing at Talladega. I don't know if you got any insight on what these guys can do as far as a fuel window goes, but I can't. Well, fuel window sounds like about 42 to 44 laps, so these guys can make an extended run. You would think these guys probably about 10 laps or so short, so that doesn't even enter the fray right now. But I saw the 16 of Edwards. They was up in the outside lane. That entire outside lane just kind of all diminished. They're all back basically single file to the low side.
Yeah, pretty much single file back to the low side is Chakota Salik, though, leading this time by here as we put up lap 32, now the start of 33, so we're going to be halfway home here at the Talladega Super Speedway as soon as this lap is complete. So we're going to be halfway home here for the Marco's Pizza 175. Full throttle sim racing, iRacing style here at Talladega Super Speedway, something that we're getting accustomed to. A lot of the controls are way different, aren't they, Phil?
Oh, way different. Trying to find the proper camera views, trying to learn some new names, new faces, new series, new numbers. I mean, you name it, it's new everything for us out here tonight, and we hope everybody's out there enjoying the ultimate esport experience as only we can bring it to you here live on Full Velocity as we work out here. We buttered our bread for so long in NASCAR Racing 2 on 3. We branched out here recently with the upstart of the new company here in June, and, starting to get a whole lot more, acclimated to the way this iRacing works. Definitely, did so here at Talladega for the first time tonight. And shout out to all you guys out there, all our subscribers, all our viewers out there on YouTube. Thank you for watching us here live on the Full Velocity Network this evening. So thrilled to have you guys all aboard. I know the chat box has been alive all night long. You guys have been great out there following along the dialogue and the conversation, and we're so thankful for all the support you guys are giving, and hope we're enjoying this spectacle like we have here tonight. Talladega definitely electrified, as only these guys at FTSR can do. The kickoff for 2017 D season for these guys in the all-new VPM Truck Series that's going to run here at FTSR on Monday nights. And we're seeing one fantastic race going on from Talladega. We've seen 2 wide, we've seen some 3 wide racing, and now a good race going on up to the front of the field. How about the rebound run for that number 42 Takuda Salik? We saw him all tore up in an earlier wreck. Also now the 98 of Mark Johnson. He's rebounded nicely. Those guys all up front of the field, jockeying for position as we're all past halfway now as they're down the backstretch 2 wide.
Yeah, these guys down the back straight away. I want to say hi to everybody down there in the YouTube chat box and want to comment on. We have eclipsed 100 subscribers in a very, very short time. Again, thank you to everybody that has subscribed here to the Full Velocity Network, and only up from here as the Full Velocity Network continues to get better each and every week. And I got to thank some of the sponsors and people that have helped us along the way. So again, thank you to everybody out there in YouTube land. Anybody that's helped the Full Velocity Network. We eclipsed 100 subscribers, and hopefully, like I said, up from there. And also, thank Full Throttle Sim Racing for taking a chance with us here in iRacing, and hopefully we're doing them good. It's a fantastic race. They've done us good each and every time we've broadcasted. Again, we're broadcasting tonight the FTSR. That's a Full Throttle Sim Racing. VPM. That's a virtual points manager. The virtual points manager sponsoring the Truck Series. Marco's Pizza 175 from the Talladega Super Speedway.
Yeah, hope these guys are all enjoying the show, and it sounds like that Joe's going to have a little special feature here for us. Something that, with all these great controls and widgets and whatnot of iRacing, looks like we're going to go on board. I believe Joe said, are we going to do the 55 of Jeff Bratton? What do you say we go in car and take a lap around and see this action aboard the 55 of Jeff Bratton? What do you say? Now, what do you guys think of that? Full lap in car, the Jeff Bratton machine. The first full velocity overdrive, we'll call the feature here as we go in car, give you all the great looks around this Talladega Super Speedway tonight. And, just hang out with these guys at FTSR. We're past the halfway mark. These laps starting to click off at a really fast rate there, Todd. 38 laps up on the board, and looks like a little bit of a breakaway at the front of the field there. Looks like about the top 6 drivers have broken away there. 5 drivers have broken away. Still in a 2x2 formation. Sodalik, the 42, has got the lead. Bart Johnson is there. Sherwood Williford, the 33, he's also up there in third. Bernard Person, fourth. And Jeff Breton, who we just took that awesome run with there, that number 55, he's currently in the 5th spot, but they've got a little gap between themselves and a 6th place running Andrew Packer, Adam Edwards back there in 7th. Those guys kind of giving a little breathing room between the front, half dozen trucks in themselves. They also got some lap trucks in there. Matthew Alimony is up there, part of that race as well. So guys off the pace, off the lead lap, but still out there all having a good time. And these guys are putting on one heck of a show from Talladega tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It's interesting to see the 42 of Sleeve up front in that number 42 GoPro sponsor machine, heavily damaged on the right side, and it's just interesting to see him work his way up front and be able to stay up. So it must be the damage wasn't that bad. The number 98 tried to make a move around the 42. He switches up to the top side. The number 98 is Mark Johnson. Johnson now making short work of the 42 down to the bottom side. Put Mark Johnson back to the lead in that number 98 machine.
Mark Johnson going to move back up to the front in the 98. Looks like Williford's going to take that move with him. So, I mean, this enjoying these guys. You see these guys fall off the draft a little bit. You see these guys all wound right back up. You got we have a top 11 drivers there. 13 trucks make up this lead pack, but the top 11 there left on the lead lap and having a good go over here as we see good racing up front between Mark Johnson, Sherwood Williford's up there, the 42 of Dakota Sodalik is up there. So these guys having a tremendous run, and you got to think about it there, Todd. Now, I mean, these guys still probably have one more green flag pit stop they're going to have to make if this thing stays green. Looks like the likes of TJ Bartel, and also looks like the likes of PJ O'Leary they've already dropped in. Looks like they've already got service. So these guys may be rolling the dice on these guys, maybe having a caution flag coming out and those guys staying on the lead lap, and maybe have already completed their fuel service here as we're 41 laps in.
Yeah, 41 laps in of 66 here to Talladega Super Speedway again. Marco's Pizza 175 here this evening. These guys starting to catch up on lap traffic once again. Up front of them is Michael Blackner. You got the 35 of TJ Bartel. You got the 23 machine of Claudio Goldhart and also Adam Maddox. They're catching them at a pretty rapid speed here down through the tri-oval. They're hitting the tri-oval almost to start finish line now. And the 98 of Mark Johnson right there. So they're within a couple of seconds of putting those guys down one lap.
No, they certainly are. They're starting to chase down that pack, as you said, and just floating on through this pack and seeing, the different lines these guys are running, the different things these guys may be thinking in what these guys may be thinking in the cockpit of these things, Joe, is we're working lap number 42, so the finish has to be in sight for these guys. A little less than 25 laps to go. Things starting to click off here at a feverish rate at Talladega, and now we got 4 trucks there that are off the lead pack. A few of them have already come in for service, but as these race leaders work around the lap traffic, looks like they're all going to do so clean. What are you thinking, Joe, if you're in the cockpit at this time, knowing you still have one more stop you're going to have to make? We've talked about it time and time again, how critical pit road is, how you can't afford those those mistakes. And what kind of things do you think you do here on a pit stop here at Talladega? Do you take 2 cans of fuel? Do you take just enough to go in? Do you take tires at this junction? I have no experience in these trucks here at Talladega. So what do you think these guys are thinking behind the wheel?
Well, I think for starters, it's going to depend really on when these guys have to come down pit road for their last pit stop, if they even have to come down. Some of these guys may have been able to save a little bit of fuel under the cautions we've had and already made their final pit stop. So we may not see some of these guys come back down pit road again. You may see some of them come down, and if they do, they'll take just enough to get them back to the finish line. They're not going to go down there and sit down there and take 2 cans of fuel when it's not entirely necessary. And we've seen guys looking at pit stop times from earlier in the race. The majority of these guys have already made 2 and 3 pit stops so far in the event. All of them taking either 2 tires or no tires. So tire wear not really a factor here at Talladega this evening, I should say, from what it appears at least. So I wouldn't anticipate seeing these guys spend a whole lot of time down on pit road. Really, the battle you're going to see is who can get on pit road the best and who can get off the best. The pit crews really all they got to do is throw just enough fuel to make it to the end and see who can come out on top, and who you decide to go down with if you do have to pit is also going to play a huge role. You want to make sure you have the right pairing of guys coming down with you so you can gain as much time on and off pit road as possible in relation to the pack that's out there on the racetrack, because as you have more trucks together, as you've seen so far, they've been able to run down all of these lap cars now that have come down and made their final pit stops of the race. So you really got to time this right with who comes down pit road with you and who doesn't, and who decides to gamble and stay out there on their own. There's a lot of unanswered questions as we're ticking off laps here. We got about 20 laps to go next time by.
Yeah, absolutely. We're 2/3 the way home in this thing, if you could believe it. The racing has been awesome at Talladega Super Speedway. Let's see if we can't give you a quick full field rundown, recap the action that has seen 2 caution flags so far at Talladega tonight. Our current race leader is the number 98 of Mark Johnson. Sherwood Williford is second in the 33. Dakota Sadalik is third. Bernard Person is fourth. And Andrew Packer in the 67. He is currently fifth. 6 through 10, we find Adam Edwards, Jeff Bratton, Stephen Hamill, Brody Hanna. Paul Strickland's currently back there in a 10th spot. David Hensley is 11th. He's the last driver left on the lead lap currently. 12th is PJ O'Leary. Jeff Lang, the number 8, he is 13th. TJ Bartell is 14th. Rob Thomas is 2 laps down. He is in 15th. Matthew Alimony is 16th. He is 3 laps down to the rears. Adam Maddox is 17th aboard the 95. Claudio Goldhart looks like his night may be done. He is behind the wall, Todd. Claudio going to finish up in the 23 tonight in the 18th position. 19th is Michael Blackner. Looks like he's still out there making some laps, but he's had a long night of it. Thomas Burrell, the number 44 Hot Wheels machine, he was behind the wall early on in the event. His night is done. He'll finish up 20th, and rounding out our field tonight, 21st, Hunter Garth in the number 9 machine. Full field rundown, sponsored by your friends here live at the Full Velocity Network. Find us at our website, fullvelocitynetwork.com. Book your date now. We would love to come out and showcase all the great racing you have going on, whether it's out there in iRacing, R-Factor, NR2003, you name it. If you're racing it, we would love to show it off and, be part of the Maximum Impact Showcase, the Sonic Boom of Soundwave, which is the ultimate esport experience right here live on Full Velocity night after night. And what do you say, Todd? The Marco's Pizza 175 at Talladega. Special thanks to these guys at Marco's Pizza for stepping up and sponsoring the event. This has been one fantastic show, and we're shaping up for a great finish.
Yeah, definitely shaping up for a great finish, and that's going to lead me right into the Full Velocity picks here this evening. Last night I didn't fare so well, but you fared just a little bit worse there, Phil. Last night with our picks here with the FTF NASCAR 2003 series that we had last night, the Jones Cup, live here on the Full Velocity Network. So now we're going to do picks here, iRacing style here, for the Marco's Pizza 175 Full Throttle Sim Racing League. And Phil, we don't know these guys that well, so this is going to be kind of out there.
Yeah.
You get to pick first.
Yeah, this is tough because, like you said, we know a couple of these guys, some short track racing, but, man, never in these trucks, never at a super speedway. So this is just like throwing a dart at the wall and hoping it sticks at this point. But just observing what we've seen here through the first 45, 46 laps or whatever, I'm liking a look at that number 54 truck of Bernard Person. We know he's led some laps. I think that JBL.com Toyota is certainly fast. I mean, it kind of looks like a Kyle Busch paint scheme, so it has to be fast. I think Bernard Person, the 54, Todd, that's going to be my pick. I think he'll go to victory lane.
Well, since I finished second to last night, I'm going to pick the number 98, that Monster Energy sponsor machine, that Rehab Monster Energy sponsor machine. That pink truck stands out to me here this evening. That's Mark Johnson, that number 98. So that's going to be my pick. I'm going to throw it down to Joe Allen, Joey the Jet. Joe, you know these guys a little bit better. Who you pick to win here this evening?
Yeah, there's a couple guys out there so far this evening that really haven't made a lot of noise. Paul Strickland was up there earlier in the event. He's kind of backed out to the back half of the top 10 here. Brody Hannon, the 62, he's been mining his P's and Q's back there as well. But guys, a guy that I've known for a long time, he is no slouch to super speedways. He's got wins under his belt, and he knows exactly what he's doing. My pick tonight hasn't run up towards the top 5 very much, but I think he'll find himself there. He's starting to move forward a little bit, slowly but surely. It's going to be that number 16 of Adam Edwards. He's going to go out there and win this race tonight.
That's a pretty good sneaky pick there, Joe. Oh, sorry about that, Todd. Saw you were coming in. Didn't realize you were going to come in there. But, yeah, I like the pick of a 16. That's a good sneaky pick. I've been following the progress of a 16, Todd. He's kind of weaved his way up through that pack, moved his way up third truck in line. I've seen him come back and forth a couple of times. That may be a really good sneaky pick on Joe's behalf, and I think he may have some insider information there.
Yeah, 16 just pitted, as Joe says in our ear. So he's been watching him all evening long. He's got the control, so he has a little bit more time sometimes to, if he don't get the yellow flags, I should say, there's a little bit more time to see some of these guys and see how they're sneaking up through the field with all the stats and stuff. But I mean, and he knows these guys very well. So we'll see how he does as Edwards down on pit road. But I'm gonna throw it down to the YouTube chat box. It's been rather active for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it died out. But you guys, I know you got a favorite out there. Who is going to win this race? Who is it going to be here this evening at the Talladega Super Speedway for the Marcos? Pizza 175. Who is your favorite? Who's going to win this race? I want to hear from you, and I'm going to do my best to get you guys on air with your picks here this evening, just to see what you guys got, what you guys think. I know you guys out there in the chat box know who these guys are, so you want to be watching these guys pretty closely here this evening.
Yeah, and I don't know what's better, winning a race live on Full Velocity, being the first race out for these guys with the VPM Truck Series, or knowing there may be a nice, warm, delicious Marco's Pizza Pie sitting down there in Victory Lane next to Joe Allen. I bet he can probably smell it from here, and pizza does sound pretty good right now. So I'm not sure what would mean more there, Todd, the trophy in Victory Lane being live on Full Velocity or having that terrific pizza down there that may be a winner in Victory Lane. I can't wait to see what this is going to take. We look on the board, 52 laps to go, so we're under 15 laps to go in this thing. We know these guys are going to come to pit road one more time, but when do you think we're going to start seeing them?
Your guess is as good as mine, Phil, out there. I really have been paying attention to it with these guys. I'm going to say here with the next 8 laps, and guess what? I was going to say the next 8 laps, but they're all coming down the pit road. Oh, 24 makes hard contact with a 54 of Bernard Pearson. Pearson hard into the inside retaining wall after the 24 lost it here at the entrance of pit road. So more damage to Bernard Pearson in the 54 JBL.com Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, that's just disheartening down there. You try to do all you can to get on pit road there clean. And, you know, something else I'm seeing for the first time here, green flag pit stops at iRacing. I've never done it myself. Have no idea what it's like. I'd probably screw it up like I normally would, but I was down here in the 62 Chevrolet pit, Bojangles Chevrolet for Brody Hanna. Looks like it was a quick 2-tire stop on that car. The 62 truck down and away. Looks like he's going to win that race off of pit road, Todd. I don't think Brody was aboard. He was in that lead pack, but looks like he's going to make a better pit stop, and he's going to get away cleaner than everybody else did.
Yeah, indeed he does. As the 98, Mark Johnson didn't have as good of a pit stop as he would have liked. He's right now coming out fourth in line behind all those guys that pitted. But I tell you what, though, Bernard Pearson in that 54, tough break for him as heavy contact made to the inside wall, and he's joining the field now, but he's lost a lot of time.
Yeah, and you stick a dart on a wall. You call out the Kyle Busch scheme, and you get the Kyle Busch luck and get tore up coming on the pit road. Tough break for Bernard Pearson there. But looking at these guys, they've all just come off a pit road. There's a good little gap between all these guys that have come on and off. So you got to think at this point, do they have drafting help? And if they do, you know, what kind of run are these guys all going to have? I'm seeing the likes of TJ Bartel. He may be leading the lead pack. I believe he's going to still be one lap in the rears of these guys, but, you know, he's got he's got the Wolves behind him there. Brody Hanna there, Sherman Williford, Takano Sadalik. Those guys look like they're going to be your current top three when this thing all cycles back around. But and as Joe comes to my ear and says, nope, you've got that wrong. It's the 43 of David Hensley, the 55 of Jeff Bratton. I don't believe those guys have yet come to pit road there, Todd. That's our current top two.
No, they haven't come down to pit road, but our current top two is David Hensley in that 43 machine and the 55 of Bratton. Bratton is running in that second spot. But I said I was going to get some of the YouTube chat box picks out there. KDD Farms 03, thank you for watching here at Full Velocity Network. He picks Brody Hanna. Those guys are coming, 1-2 are coming down to pit road. And also, Christy JB 09, I don't think you could pick three trucks, but I'll allow it this time. The 88, the 98, and the 24, that's who they're going for down there in the YouTube chat box. As you guys got more coming in. Who's going to win this race here tonight? We're covering David Hensley and the 55 of Bratton, Jeff Bratton. He's down on pit road also. Looks like tires going up on the Jeff Bratton machine. The 43 service already done. And the 55 getting 4 tires for Jeff Bratton. So 4 tires is the call. That's a lengthy pit stop for that 55 machine.
Yeah, it certainly is. The 43 of David Hensley, it was just a gas and go for the 43. So he got on and off, got his work done. Different strategy there for Jeff Bratton in the 55. 4 tires. I don't know if I like that call at all. He's going to be a guy out there, all by his lonesome as that pack of the race leaders, Todd, they flash by through turns 1 and 2. Don't like the call for the 55 at all. That may have just ruined his night and his chance to go to victory lane.
Yeah, it might have ruined his night, but 67, the current race leader, as Andrew Packer in that number 67 machine. So he's got help from Jeff Lang, a lap down car who's in position number 12, and also PJ O'Leary, who is in that 11th spot. So he's got help from 2 cars that are a lap down, but the 67 machine of Andrew Packer currently leading here at the Talladega Super Speedway. We're looking at a .867 back to David Hensley last time by. So we're going to see how much of a gap he's going to have between himself, Andrew Packer, and David Hensley to see how much. It's now 7.206. So those guys behind him, there's a 4-car draft, or 4-truck draft, I should say, for that matter. Are they going to be able to run down the number 67 of Andrew Packer?
Yeah, no. Can they run him down? It's going to be a 7-second gap. Don't believe the 67 has yet come to pit road. We'll see what's going to happen there. But Andrew Packer, the 67, is our current race leader. Dakota Sadlik, Mark Johnson, Brody Hanna, Sherwood Williford, your current top 5 as they flash their way off of turn number 4. The interval was 7 seconds last time around. Now Packer does have some help up there as far as some lap traffic goes. He's got, the likes of the PJ O'Leary machine, as you said, also Jeff Lang, the number 8. So those 3 trucks going to run around in line. Is that going to be enough to, to propel and keep those guys up in front of the leaders? Well, they've cut down, Todd, over 2 seconds off of that deficit. 5 seconds behind now, we see that second pack, and they are starting to run these guys down. It may be another lap and a half before these guys have drafting help, but we're going to see a whole different outcome here and maybe see a race for the lead here in about a lap and a half.
Yeah, that second pack is 5 trucks, 6 trucks strong here. So they're going against a 3-truck pack up in front of them, and they're really chopping into that lead. Last time by it was 5.021. This time by, as they flash by that start finish, to get ready to flash by that start finish line here as they enter that triangle. At the other end of that triangle is the start finish line. So as they flash by the start finish line this time, it's going to be 2.181. Almost 3 seconds knocked off that pack. These guys are flying around the Talladega Super Speedway in that draft.
Yeah, they certainly are. And at that clip, you're going to see these guys maybe eclipse the race for the lead, maybe down the back straightaway this time as they come flashing down there. Here comes Sadalik in the 42. He's going to make the move to the outside. We got a block there from Jeff Lang in the 8, but now side by side for the lead. Packer to the low side, but here comes that group. Dakota Sadalik, the 42. He's going to bring that GoPro Chevrolet to the front. Mark Johnson's going to bring that Rehab Monster Energy machine there to that second spot. And Brody Hanna, the 62. That whole group there, Todd, all those 5 trucks that were in line, they've run them all down. The whole top 5 is all flip-flopped here. And we have a little less than 10 laps remaining. This is going to make for one hell of a finish.
Yeah, that was interesting to see. I believe they're trying to slow him down so the 67 Packer could have kept up with these guys up front here, but they just flashed by him so quick, and I believe those guys all came down onto pit road. So again, we have six trucks up here. 3 of them now electing to go to the top side. That's going to be led by the number 33 machine, that iRacing sponsored number 33 machine of Sherwood Wilford. And that 33, they're trying to make something happen on the top shelf of the Speedway. Meanwhile, they're coming up on the number 91 of Rob Thomas. Wow, Rob Thomas gets out of the way, and wow, what amazing racing down through the trial here. Again, another fan picking the number 98. He's going with me also. down there in the live chat, the number 98. So this is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with these guys. But this is a good battle. A good battle up front. 6 trucks broke away from the rest of the field. And we're just going to have to wait and see what's going to happen here as we're on lap 61, Phil.
Yeah, we are on lap 61. That 91 of Rob Thomas certainly did not make that smooth there, allowing these guys to go by. I'm starting to think it may have been 3 a.m. and Rob Thomas may have been lonely there trying to pull up and get a little bit of help in that lead pack. But they've got it all sorted back around lap traffic. They got another lap truck up ahead. They're going to flash on by this time around. Couldn't even tell from the vantage point I have who that lap truck was, but these guys now 2 by 2 for the race lead. Look at Brody Hanna trying to push that 42 on the low side. We got good action going on here. We're going to have a little good old-fashioned 4-lap shootout to settle this thing. Who's going to win the Marcos Pizza at 175? Right now it's the 98 in the turn 1.
At a 98 into turn 1, Mark Johnson leading the charge with a 33 right there directly behind him. But there's 2 trucks down on the low side. That's the number 42 machine of Dakota Salid in that number 42 machine, and the number 62 of Brody Hanna. Those 2 working together on the bottom side. The rest of the trucks up on the top side. Those bottom 2 are able to keep together, and they're able to push each other, Phil, versus 4 trucks on the top line.
Yeah, they're just not staying committed to the bumpers on the outside like they need to, and that's allowed Sada leak the 42, Brody handle the 62. Those guys able to make that move, but the strength is the numbers. If you can get those 4 guys to work together, you got to think the strength of numbers alone is going to allow them to overcome the leaders. But as we say that, they're starting to move around and jockey for position. We almost had a wreck there for 4th there. The 43 of Hensley almost got into the back of the 33 of Williford there. So these guys starting to move around, trying to make their move. And with a little less than 4 laps to go now, Todd, it's definitely go time. You got to make a move for the win. Everybody wants a checkered flag here live on Full Velocity.
Yeah, everybody wants to checker flag on Full Velocity Network. I'm going to ask that question. Who's it going to be out there in YouTube chat box? Who's it going to be? There's 4 laps to go. I know some of these guys have picked down there in the YouTube chat box. I'd like to see some other picks down there. Just shout them out. We're getting towards the end of the Marcos Pizza 175 here at the Talladega Super Speedway. These guys have put on a great show. These guys at Full Throttle Sim Racing. If you want to get involved with them, I suggest you do. Head on over to Full Throttle Sim Racing and get a hold of Brody Hanna and the guys, Paul Strickland Jr., all those guys over there. They'll help you out, get involved into this. Fantastic racing. They've raced on the short tracks. They've raced now on the super speedways, and every single time they've always put on a good show.
I believe next week this truck series heads into the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So great racing for these guys. FTSR.net is how you find this awesome league and be a part of this great racing action, just like we got here live at Talladega right now. And you see 3 trucks on the high side, starting to see more trucks down to the low side. Looks like the low side looks like to be the place to be right now as Sada Leak with the 42, Brody handle the 62. Going to be 2 to go at the line, Todd, this time around.
Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps remain around the Talladega Super Speedway, and these guys racing tooth and nail all the way through turn number 1. They're going 3 wide here for that 3rd spot as the 98 tries to go up through the middle there. The number 98 of Mark Johnson trying to make some headway on the top 2 guys, trying to get around Brody Hanna. Now he moves up to the top side. He can't decide what line to commit to. He goes back down to the bottom. He stays in line with Brody Hanna. Maybe Brody Hanna going to jump on the line. We're just going to wait and see as we're into turn 3.
Yeah, this is great racing into turn 3. What line do you go to? If this is not excited, maybe you need to commit yourself, because you've got to be committed right now to make this happen, make this run toward victory lane. Who's it going to be off of turn number 4? Believe, Todd, we're going to see white flag going up in the air. Believe white flag this time around. Can anybody make something happen? The 42 with contact, and the 62 going to go around. Contact up front. Take the 42 out of the equation. Tough run for Sadalik. He had rebounded from an earlier incident. Looks like his night, his chance for winning may have just gone up in smoke.
Yeah, his chance for racing, his chance for winning. Oh, and the 98 gets into the back of the 62. Brody Henner around. Carnage and catastrophe on the back straightaway. Now, anybody's race here going down into the turn. Oh, what an amazing racing here. It looks like David Hensley goes from 5th to 1st in that number 43.
It certainly looks that way as they work their way off of turn number 4, almost like a Donnie and Kale moment there, allowing the 43 out to the lead. But here comes PJ O'Leary. Where did the 88 come from? Believe he's a lap down, so he's not going to be a factor. David Hensley looks like he's going to cross the line first, so it looks like David Hensley, Todd, he may pick up the win in the Marco's Pizza 175.
Yeah, David Hensley in the number 43 going to pick up the win in the STP lookalike truck here this evening. Looks like the number 98 of Mark Johnson going to finish in that 2nd spot. We're waiting for scoring and time in the reset. We don't know who finished 3rd. Looks like the 42 of Dakota Salik going to finish in that 3rd spot. And that's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out, because these guys were all involved in wrecks. And things are happening, like we said, it's all unofficial here on the Full Velocity Network. The only thing that's official is what the admins do indeed say here. So we're going to have to wait and see who actually finished 3rd on back.
I don't know if it gets any more intense and exciting than that just did, but if you can duplicate it, I dare you to get a hold of us on Full Velocity Network. And, can you do better than this? Well, throw that out there, the challenge now. See if we can't, see if we can't get away with our top 3 podium finishers as we accustomedly do here live on Full Velocity. David Hensley going to pick up the win in the 43. We'll let Joe go down there with that pizza pie and, grant David Hensley in victory lane. Looks like we're not going to be able to grab the 42. Let's see if we can't see if we get communication with Mark Johnson, who do not believe we're going to get either. So we may not get, only but one of the top 3. So Todd, we may be off the hook as far as, top 3 interviews go, but it looks like we're going to have our race winner in victory lane. So we're going to skip over me and Todd with the podium interviews. We're going to throw this thing straight into victory lane. We'll throw this down to our buddy, the Jet Joe Allen. You're going to catch up with a very happy David Hensley in victory lane and enjoy that smell of that pizza, Joe. Talk to our winner down there.
Yeah, you're right, guys. Down here in our Full Velocity Gatorade victory lane for the Marco's Pizza 175, David Hensley, I think you went from 5th to 1st in the course of that last lap, with the 42 getting turned off Brody Hanna's bumper and then calamity happening down the back straightaway. I don't know how you missed it, man, but you did, and you come and you claim your first victory at Full Throttle Sim Racing, the first race of the 2017 VPM Truck Series. Tell us about it, bud. It looked like it was exciting out there.
Oh, making sure this thing's working.
Yeah. Yep, we hear you, buddy.
I'm sitting here shaking right now. Not a big fan of restrictor plate racing, but that was exciting. I was trying to push the Sherwood Williford. We've been friends a long time, buddies. We work together pretty well at the plate tracks. I was trying to push them up there, and next thing I know, they're all gone. So, pretty exciting.
Well, sometimes, as the saying goes, it's better to be lucky than good, and the seas parted ways just right for you to go out there and take advantage of that. So congratulations on that. That was a fantastic finish to the end of that race, and to go out there and get your first win on the Full Velocity Network here. I believe this is your first start at Full Velocity as well. So it's good to see you over here supporting the league, and congratulations. A little bit of a tradition we do over here. We open up the airwaves to our podium finishers to kind of give a shout out to any friends or family that may watch back the archive of the broadcast, any sponsors you may have that helped you get here. The floor is all yours, buddy, and congratulations again.
There's 3 other guys in the race: Sherwood, Williford, TJ Bartell, and Jeff Brett, and we've all raced together a while, worked together. So I had teammates in front and behind me there at the end, so that was a big help. Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, well, congratulations once again, David Hensley, from all of us here at the Full Velocity Network on that first victory of the night. Todd, Phil, I think he's going to enjoy himself some Marco's Pizza. It smells great down here in Victory Lane, and man, what a finish. We saw maybe Brody Hanna thought he was going to steal one away from the 42 when he got hooked off the bumper going down through the front stretch there, and then Brody got himself turned down the back stretch, and somehow out of nowhere, David Hensley just, kind of snuck through there, sees parted ways just right for him in that STP looking machine, and he came out the winner here tonight. So a very exciting race at Talladega, and these guys proving 3 weeks in a row now. I think we had 2 cautions all night. They went caution free in their 2 super late model races that we covered for them. Obviously one of the top-notch leagues over here on the iRacing stables, and totally recommend that anybody out there that's looking for a league to run in iRacing, come check these guys out.
No, they certainly a first-class, top-notch league over here at Full Throttle Sim Racing. We got to talk to our winner there, Todd, but I believe you've caught up with the driver of a 94, our buddy Paul Strickland Jr., so I'll set it down to you when see if you can't get Paul's thoughts on what ended up being a very wild finish tonight at Talladega.
Yeah, Paul Strickland Jr. finished up 5th here tonight, and it was a wild finish there, Paul. Tell us a little bit from the seat that you had tonight. 5th place, not a bad finish, but that was wild and crazy there at the end.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time since I've run pretty good in one of these league races, especially being a broadcast. I usually have really crappy luck, but yeah, it was a really good race. We ran up front first half of the race. We were in the top 5 for most of it. Hooked up with TJ Bartel for the first time in probably 10 years since I've raced with him last, and we were running 1-2 for a little bit, and it got kind of dicey, so I dropped to the back and kind of hung out with Adam Edwards in the 16 back there, and we kind of hooked up and pit together and lost the lead pack, but I guess that's a good thing because there was a little bit of a wreck there, and we were able to kind of drive around it, pick off a couple of the damaged cars on the last lap, and we came home 5th, and it was cool to see Adam run 4th.
Yeah, it was a cool finish, a top 5 finish, which is something that we haven't seen you do on the Full Velocity Network. Usually, like you said, you have some bad luck here, and it's nice to see you come home with a top 5 here tonight, Paul. And this is our first ever Talladega race iRacing. I've never raced on the iRacing part of the Talladega Speedway. I've raced on NASCAR 2003. Is anything comparable as far as that go? If I want to go out in Talladega Super Speedway, if I'm trying to drive some of these guys out here, is anything comparable to that? I know you were an old guy for NASCAR 2003.
Oh, you're calling me old now. That's okay. I see how it is. No, it's definitely comparable. I mean, the simulation, you're obviously going to have a lot of differences. I mean, but the track itself is the same. It looks the same. It kind of feels the same. Really, with these plate track deals, it's who you're racing with, who you're racing against. A lot of guys are very comfortable pushing and working with other drivers. A lot of guys not so much. And when I was working with Adam Edwards towards the back, we were kind of having a little bit of a team radio kind of back and forth, and seeing some guys were comfortable with other guys, but a lot of guys weren't all that comfortable with different drivers. So it's really a high speed chess match, and I know you guys have heard that before, but you kind of pick out your moves and do them fast, but you want to make sure you're doing them nice and smooth too. So it definitely compares with the NR 2003. It even compares with the NASCAR Heat if you want to jump in the Wayback Machine. But yeah, definitely comparable. It's really up to the guys that you're racing with and against.
Oh, you're kind of dating yourself, but you're kind of dating yourself there, Paul. But I've also raced it. I've been racing online since I was 16, of course, and that's way back in '98. So I understand where all these simulations come from, and just making my venture out this way, but and starting to get into the iRacing community. But it seems like you guys have a blast over here at Full Throttle Sim Racing, and you guys put on a good show tonight. But the microphone floor is all yours. Thank whoever you'd like to thank you this evening.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You guys always do a really good broadcast. I know we've worked with you with FTSR a couple of times with the super late models, and we're doing some pretty cool things with the truck series here. First things first, I really got to thank Icy Hot Spray. They're the MVP tonight, because I am getting old and I can't do this whole sim racing thing like I could back in high school. So they're really helping me out with the whole back issues and things like that. I got to thank Chris and Anthony, the Battle Brothers. They're sponsoring the truck. They're an indie wrestling tag team. If you've never heard of them, Jump on YouTube right now, type in Northeast Wrestling Battle Brothers, and you'll get some of the best tag team wrestling matches you've ever seen in your life. Then I also got to give a quick little shout out to Cindy. I know she's watching too, but great run tonight. Top five, first top five in a long time. Got to thank Brody Hanna for putting on the series, and got to thank Marco's Pizza for jumping on as the race opening sponsor. So it's pretty cool of them. But we're looking forward to Atlanta next week. We're going to do some testing during the week beforehand and see what we got.
All ladies and gentlemen, driving the number 94 tonight, Paul Strickland Jr. finishing up fifth. And congratulations, Paul.
Thank you. I'm going to go grab me a beer.
I'm going to throw it down to Phil, who is caught up with Brody Hanna. He was in the top three towards the end of that race. He was actually running second, and then tragedy happened to him down the back straightaway. And hopefully he can explain a little bit of that, what happened there on the back straightaway.
Yeah, it sure did. I really thought Brody had a shot for the win there. And unfortunately, Brody, a little bit of contact there kind of cost you the race. But, man, that looked awfully fun out there to be going out there and racing at Talladega. First time I've ever seen an iRacing style, and it really looks like a good time. But I know you guys at FTSR, you guys always do a good job. So tell us about that night, man. That had to be a lot of fun.
Well, it was fun for about 65 and a half laps. No, unfortunately, there on the end, you come down to the end of these races and you just hope you try to pick the best line you can and you do the best you can. And honestly, on the backstretch there, I'm not even that upset about it. It was a racing deal. He was trying to go 3 wide. I don't blame him. Try and go for the lead, trying to win. And honestly, I was just surprised that there on the last pit stop, I took fuel only, and looks like me and only a few other guys did that. So it put us out front. They caught us. I was running in the front pack. I had a chance, and that's really all you can ask for in these super speedway races. They're pretty crazy.
Well, it was absolutely nuts, and we certainly had an awesome time. It's been an awesome time these last couple of weeks hanging out with you guys, doing the super late models for the last 2 races, and now the first race here for the VPM Truck Series as you guys start the D season. Now for you guys here in 2017. But, hats off to all you guys. You guys got a lot of great things going forward with the Truck Series and, saw some great number turnout here tonight. And for everybody out there who may be tuning in, who's learning about Full Throttle Sim Racing for the first time, tell these guys how they can all get involved and, give a shout for your league and do some PR and maybe get some other guys to discover some great racing you guys are doing.
Well, first I would say go to FTSR.net. Check us out there on the website. Like us on Facebook, just search FTSR, and check us out on the iRacing website. Now, I will say, we're all about having fun, racing with friends, but keeping it clean, as I think you saw tonight. So we're always looking for guys that will fit into that mold, and look forward to what we have coming up. Like you said, I heard Paul mention Atlanta. We're excited about Atlanta and Richmond and some of the other popular tracks for the trucks coming up. We're really looking forward to this season.
Well, it's going to be an awesome time, and hopefully with any luck, we'll come back and do a couple more of these. But, man, first of all, lastly, before we get off the air tonight, Joe got down at Victory Lane with our winner, David Hensley. He got to smell one of those really delicious Marco's Pizza, man. And I know those guys were gracious enough to jump on board and be tonight's presenting sponsor. So take a second to shine some light for Marco's Pizza. Give them guys a shout out and tell everybody out there where these guys can be found, because those pies really look good down there in Victory Lane.
Well, Marco's Pizza is authentic Italian pizza, and I'm telling you, you go in there and you smell it right away. The cheese bread's awesome. The pepperoni is piping hot. It's really good. So if you have one around, you've got to try it out. We actually posted a code on Facebook you can use for $4 off your first order online for Marco's Pizza. So we really do appreciate those guys coming on and sponsoring the race, and I think we did them proud, I hope.
Well, Brody, it certainly turned into be one spectacular evening. You guys really did a good job. And on behalf of, I know you go back with Joe a long ways, but for Todd, myself, for bringing us aboard these last couple of weeks, thanks for so much for bringing Full Velocity over here. And, man, I really hope at some point somewhere we do this again. This has really been a good time. So thanks for having us, and good luck to the rest of the season here if we don't catch up here in these next couple of weeks. Thank you again.
And we really appreciate you guys coming on. You guys do an awesome job. It's always a pleasure. And we'll hope to get you guys back as soon as we can. We're still looking for sponsorship for Atlanta, so any of the guys out there that are interested, hit me up, and let's get this done.
I like it. Well, that's Brody Hanna, guys, the owner of FTSR. And Joe Aliga, you called home for many, many years of starting your online sim racing, and really good to see these guys off the ground and rolling, coming out to iRacing, and they've really put one tremendous product. And knowing you, Joe, I know you've gone out and done some iRacing yourself. It's going to make your mouth water a little bit, and maybe come back home one day and get out there and share the speedway with these guys. I think at some point I'd really like to as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is as we've talked about in weeks past, this is a homecoming for me. These guys have been dormant since the NR 2003 days. It's been 4 years or so since they kind of started things back up, but they really haven't been a full-time league since 2010, if that, to be honest. Maybe even 2009. So it's been a very long time, and when you grow up around a league like this, I started sim racing when I was 12 years old. Crazy to think about that, and I know that makes you guys feel incredibly old, but I grew up around these guys, so this is home to me. It's always been home, and I think over the next couple of Mondays, if time allows me to do so, I may find myself over here doing a little bit of asphalt racing on iRacing, something I haven't done in a while. I've been keen on the dirt side of stuff, had a lot of success over there, but I may find myself coming back over to the asphalt, coming racing with Paul and Michael Blackner and Brody and Adam and John Adams when he gets back, Brandon Elder, a bunch of guys that I've known for years and years and years. So I'm so happy to see these guys back and having the success that they're seeing so far since they've moved over to the iRacing stables. That's awesome to see. Super happy for all those guys. Super happy for everybody else that has come out and support them. And I know they're looking forward to some great things in the future, and I'm glad to be a part of it, and hopefully they have us back, sooner than later to broadcast a few more of these races for them.
No, absolutely. And Todd Stanton, as we've kind of acclimated ourselves to iRacing, getting used to the controls, and had to call one of these races for the first time on a restrictor plate track, seeing these trucks at Talladega. What an awesome race these guys put on tonight. It was an awful lot of fun. Good job, partner.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Good job to you too. Full Throttle Sim Racing put on a whale of a show. Thanks to Marco's Pizza 175 for Marco's Pizza 175. Thanks to the Marco's Pizza people. It's awesome to do with a great sponsor. Got to thank everybody that tuned into us out there in YouTube land, the guys that make picks, all that stuff. Again, thank you. Thank you very much for everything that you guys have done for us. Full Throttle Sim Racing, fantastic job once again. We go from short tracks. We go to restrictor plate tracks. I'd like to see a dirt track coming up soon here on iRacing. If anybody is out there listening to us, try to get us a dirt track racing gig, because that's one of my favorite things to do. Of course, is I race on the local dirt track scene. So I'd like to see some dirt track racing going on the Full Velocity Network for iRacing style. So again, congratulations to our winners tonight, the podium finishers, everybody here at the Full Throttle Sim Racing gang. Great job.
No, it certainly was, and good job for the entire crew here tonight. As we dabbled into some new waters here, and we look forward to coming back and doing it again with these guys. Next up for us here on Full Velocity, Sunday night, back over to our home bread and butter here in NR 2003. We return to the FTF Jones Cup Series for the UFI Round of 8 finale elimination race, the UFI Round of 12, I should say, race at the Kansas Speedway. That will be a great time Sunday night. Also up on the docket the next couple of weeks, return trips to the SRA 711 Super Truck Series. ASRG, we get to come back here, Todd, once again in a couple of Monday nights from now. Pay back a visit over to our friends at All-Star Racing Group. We get the All-Star Spooktacular 100 right here at Talladega. So more great truck racing action, iRacing style. That is on October 30th. But as always, pay attention to our website, fullvelocitynetwork.com, for our full schedule of events. And get your dates booked now. We'd love to do it. So until next time, on behalf of Joe and Todd, thank you out there, everybody, once again for all the great support in YouTube land. And we'll see you again here next time, live on Full Velocity, as we bring you the ultimate esport experience.